Welcome back to Ozarks FOX AM. It's Wednesday, which means we are zooming in. I almost said Skype. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
We're zooming in with Micheal Babcock, our best friend in Hollywood. He never lets us down. Micheal Babcock, great to see you.
Great to see you, Kelly and Jeremy.
Oh, we are on Skype. Wait, we are. See, I almost said Skype, and I thought I was wrong.
I know. I was gonna say I know we're on Skype, Jeremy. I was gonna say something, but I didn't know if you had some sort of deal working with Zoom.
Oh,
no. I apologize because
you're a businessman.
We go back and forth. Although I want to tell Kelly something. I just remember something, Micheal Babcock. I was watching TMZ Live the other day, and we just recapped Joe Millionaire for Richer or Poorer. You interviewed Steven and Kurt the other day on TMZ Live.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you like them? Were they nice guys?
I thought they were both so kind, both of the guys.
Awesome.
And I can't remember. I had a feel for which one was rich, which one was the millionaire, and which one wasn't. I can't remember who I thought it was, but yeah, they could not have been nicer.
I guessed the right one.
Kelly guessed the right one.
I guessed the right one.
Did you guess it right, Kelly? See, I didn't see the first episode. I have to watch it. But yeah, they were as sweet as can be when we talked to them.
Yeah, it was a great interview, and they were trying not to reveal too much with you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
They were trying to watch what they said. I was like, oh, that's good. Michael's trying to get it out of them.
I know. I was trying to get it. And before we started, I was like, it's just us talking now. Just tell me. But now
I don't care. Just tell me. Yeah, I won't tell anybody. Yeah.
Well, it's a good show. You'll like it. Yeah. It's good. So, big in the headlines this week, of course. It was Betty White the week before, and now, unfortunately, Bob Saget.
Yeah, and I think the Bob Saget dying was more shocking in many ways, just because he was 65 years old and seemingly a healthy man. He, not that he had ever stopped working, but he had really been active lately. Started getting back to doing stand-up comedy. He had a podcast, and he was really kind of he was back and he was working. And obviously, so sad that he passes away Sunday. He is found around 4 p.m. In his bed at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Orlando. Now, that's what's interesting about this. So I know, Jeremy, we're going to talk about the story. Family and friends, they are comforted by the fact that they don't believe that he suffered any distress or any pain when dying or before dying. So Bob was found by a hotel worker in his bed, tucked in under the covers, just as if he was sleeping, lights out. So it appears he enters his hotel room at about 2:15 a.m., Saturday night, technically Sunday morning, goes to sleep, and then never woke up and passed away in his sleep. So, obviously not much of a silver lining, but something that his family has been comforted by, the fact that they don't think he suffered. Right.
Yeah, and it seems like he was a great guy, and all the people that he had worked with previously were stunned, obviously, and very saddened.
That's one of the things I always look at. We put up a story and you can see how well the story does, and I'll tell you, there were a lot of people who cared, a lot of people who immediately wanted to read these stories, and probably in disbelief. And then you listen to his castmates and his friends, and you hear people like John Stamos say, "I will never have another friend like you."
Yeah.
And that's pretty heartwarming to hear that from people close to him.
Yeah.
Well, I really am. I don't know how you guys do it at TMZ. I really don't, because you guys break every stinking story. Like, I get my breaking news, like, you guys are the first on it. You guys must have people all over the country, because you guys really do have the best tips, and you're the first one to break news. It's amazing. I'm impressed.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's not as many people as you'd think, Jeremy, but I think we've been doing this for a long time now, and it's a well-oiled machine. Let's put it like that.
It is. I read that TMZ posted that first story about finding him in the bed. And I read that story. As soon as it popped up, I'm like, I got to find out what happened. So I appreciate you letting us know.
Yeah. We come to you for the headlines.
Yeah,
Micheal.
we do,
Thank
Micheal.
you so much.
Right.
What's going on with Kim and Kanye?
All right. Well, Kim Kardashian, well, I guess I should say Kanye West has seemingly moved on, actually moved on after, as recent as a couple months ago, saying that he was going to be back with Kim Kardashian. He is in a full-on dating relationship with a woman named Julia Fox. She's an actress. I don't know, Kelly or Jeremy, if you've seen the movie Uncut Gems, but she was one of the star actors, one of the leading actresses in that movie. So, they've been dating. They're extravagant, but they've been to dinner in Miami, dinner in a Broadway play in New York, and now over here to LA. But You know, the bottom line here is, how does Kim feel about Kanye now moving on? And we're told that she's okay with it, because Julia Fox, turns out, is a huge Kardashians fan. She did a podcast a while back, and she actually admitted to being obsessed with the show, like never miss an episode since the show started all those years ago. So she's a big fan. So because of that, Kim has looked at this like, look, if Kanye is going to date somebody, great. I want him to be happy. And I'd rather him date somebody that doesn't hate us, that doesn't hate our family. So she's a fan, and that's better than some person who despises us.
Exactly. Well, I think Kim had obviously moved on already in her heart,
yeah.
so she was good to go. Yeah.
I just think it's funny. I would like to be there, like, if she gets to meet the Kardashians for the first time. Is she going to fangirl? Or,
Oh, she was starstruck. Yeah. The way she talked about the show, Jeremy, it sounds like she would be like a big time fan.
And then she becomes stepmama to the kids.
Maybe that's why she likes Kanye, because he was, part of the Kardashians. Yeah.
Could you imagine? That would be hilarious.
Or she's like, I don't care about you, Kanye. I was just trying to get to the family.
Trying to get to the family.
Let's not start any rumors. Let's not start any rumors.
No, I do hope he finds love. I hope it's for real.
Not when it comes to Kanye and Kim and their world, nothing would surprise me. So, if that happened, I would not even be shocked.
If that does happen, I need a camera crew there filming it for another reality show.
I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
There better be.
They have that Hulu show. I'm sure there will be.
Also, Michael, our last story before we run out of time is Antonio Brown cut again.
So Antonio Brown, it's one of the most bizarre sports stories we've seen. So if people haven't seen, he walked off the field about 2.5 weeks ago. His Buccaneers team was playing the Jets in New Jersey. He was frustrated. He walked off the field. Now, when he walked off the field, he took off his jersey and his pads and was just bare-chested walking off the field. And it's something that most sports fans agreed that they had never seen before. So Antonio now is in L.A., and speaking of Kanye West, he was having dinner at this celebrity hotspot with Kanye West. Well, while he was leaving the restaurant, somebody asked him, "Hey, Antonio, do you regret what you did?" And he said, "Yeah, look," he said, "it probably wasn't the most professional or the smartest thing for me to do, to take off my shirt and take off my pads and leave the field." So it seems like with some time having passed here, that Antonio Brown does have some sort of small regret about what he did. So take that for whatever it's worth. He's a bizarre guy, but he's a very talented football player, and perhaps him issuing this small apology here, maybe that helps him get signed by a team next year.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, he's sounds like a loose cannon a little bit. That might be scary for people.
He's a very, very, very loose cannon, Kelly, but he's a very powerful cannon.
That's the deal.
Michael, you said sports fans never seen that, and I don't know if our viewers have seen me take off my blazer and my shirt on TV right now. So
yes.
I'm gonna storm off, Michael. I'm leaving.
Michael, it's always great to visit with you. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Thank you.
Bye, Michael.
Okay. You can catch TMZ weekdays at 5 p.m. and TMZ Live weekdays at 2 p.m., that's when we get to see him.
Yes.
We will be right back right after this.
I really wouldn't do that to the viewers. Hey, nobody wants to see that.
We could shave some things. Yeah, we could do that.
No.